scene. What are you seeing now, and what do you know?
Yeah, I came here just a couple hours ago now just to see the memorial, see what had been set up. Your Sydney Hood, who's been live all afternoon as well, all evening, was here in the afternoon and saw there was nobody here. The crime scene tape was not up. Investigators were not here. Some people were coming and going to give things to the memorial, as they have been doing since this weekend when it started. We spoke to that woman who started it all yesterday. But that was the scene just a few hours ago, and then just an hour or so later, I came out to get some updated pictures of the memorial, to talk to some people who are coming, leaving things by after work. As we'll show you in just a moment, a lot of people have come to continue to give things to this memorial, and really now to watch what investigators are doing behind me. But when I came up, investigators had returned to the scene here, had crime scene taped off just half of this yard, and were going in between cars and the house. Actually, right when I got here, I saw a couple of investigators. It did not look like they had been back in the woods yet, but I watched them put bug spray on and then walk straight back into the woods when I got here now just about 2 hours ago. And then we've really just watched the scene play out from there. We watched some investigators. We did not know who was here at first because we had just pulled up to the scene and there were about 4 or 5 unmarked cars. We now know that's the Aiken County Sheriff's Department as well as the Aiken County Coroner's Office working, just helping out with whatever the Sheriff's Department may need. But we've seen them take a shovel from the back seat, from the trunk of their car, walk back there. We have seen them coming in and out of the house with what appears to be brown evidence bags, as well as latex gloves, and looks like they were sifting through some objects in the backyard, kind of sifting through some dirt, taking things in tarps, taking things in evidence bags in and out of the house, and from the backyard back up into the cars as well. So that's really the scene that we've seen. It has grown in the number of just people out here. I would say there's close to about 50 or so just people that have come to give things to the memorial, give stuffed animals, toys, balloons. We know that Javea loved Minnie Mouse. There's a lot of Minnie Mouse stuffed animals, a lot of Minnie Mouse balloons. It seems that everybody's kind of going to the same party store there and bringing back the same Minnie and Mickey Mouse balloons because they know that she loved Minnie Mouse, as well as some stuffed animals as well. If you can hear the dogs, there's been some dogs that are coming, nothing to be alarmed about, but there's been some dogs outside as well ever since we've been out here that live in a neighbor's yard. But we also have been talking about there's not a whole lot of properties around here. There's a few neighbors that we've been speaking with since we were allowed down this road a few days ago, but some abandoned properties as well. So it just shows you these people, so many people from the Aiken community, from the greater community. I talked with one man who lives in Columbia, some people from Augusta, everybody coming to this spot to pay their respects to Javea, to show that she is loved, give a balloon, give a toy, do anything that they can, because everybody's kind of asking the question right now, what can you do when this unthinkable tragedy hits the community? And everybody answers that question in a different way.
And it looks like things, Ethan, might be wrapping up behind you. We see investigators in the back of their truck. It looked like he wrapped up some of the stuff that he had and then had put it in a trash bag. And then we also know that the coroner's office, who was out there assisting the sheriff's office, they were in that white Dodge that was right out front. Looks like they left about 10 minutes ago or so that you had stated. So again, it looks like things may be wrapping up at this point, but we'll continue to stick with it and bring you guys live updates. But again, the focus now on Javea Harris's family home right now. If you've been with us for about the last 2 hours or so, you know that investigators showed up to the home, taped it off, and then we're going in and out of the home. They had some brown evidence paper bags, it looks like. We got a view from inside the home briefly, too, while the front door was open. They were also back behind the home, too, and we saw investigators at one point actually grab a shovel and head back behind the home. We have video of them going through debris, picking some things up. Looks like they put it in a barrel or a bag, and it was unclear at first what exactly they were doing or what evidence brought them back to this home, but we do know from sources, they did tell us that this was about evidence. It was not about collecting remains of Javea. I know so many people want answers as to what exactly happened to her and want to see that resolved, but again, this was an evidentiary I guess, search at the house to try to find anything that they can. They had yellow evidence markers too, Ethan. Does it look like things are wrapping up a bit? I know it's really busy on the road with people showing up for the memorial and just people who are curious about what's going on. Is it calming down a bit on the road in with what investigators are doing?
Well, on the road, it's not calming down at all. In fact, more people continue to show up every few minutes. It seems we showed you a few videos earlier of the street next to me, just to my right, just full of cars as far as you can see. This is not a big road, so like I said earlier, about 50 or so people now here, some of them still staying in their cars, some of them coming out to watch what investigators are doing, to put down some stuffed animals, some balloons, what have you, at the memorial. It does look like we could see investigators wrapping up just a little bit. They have been out here for as long as I've been out here, which has been about 2.5 hours now, maybe a little bit more. So that's, they have been out here for a long time. When we first got here, we saw them bring a case of water and put it in a cooler that was like a fresh case of water. They just dumped it into the cooler, so it almost looked like they planned on being here for a long time. Of course, it is hot right now, and more investigators, more and more deputies have shown up since that point. So we do know that this has been a pretty big, like you said, Will, we know that it's evidence gathering, not necessarily looking for the remains, but looking for any evidence. I do not see that the shovel came out of a bin in that white 4x4 that you can see there just beyond the crime scene tape. So that car is still there. That was the first truck that I saw on scene here, and that has been here since the beginning. They've been getting supplies out of there. That's where the water was. That's where the shovel was. They have been putting some evidence bags back into tubs in that car, as well as taking photos on that camera that I don't know if you can see laying on that hatch back there, but or that trailer there, taking photos on that. So it seems as though it is maybe thinning out just a little bit, but there's also a large trailer parked in the driveway that I've seen investigators, deputies coming in and out of. That is still there. That main trailer is still there, truck right there. And then there's a couple of unmarked cars here now, as well as some uniformed deputies you can see are here. They showed up just about an hour and a half ago to an hour ago, so they were not out here the entire time. Also, this crime scene tape right here that's blocking off that part of the driveway just got put up about 30 or so minutes ago as well. So it's really just kind of expanded since we got here. In fact, when Sydney Hood was here earlier, there was nothing. There was no crime scene tape. People were able to just wander back there if they wanted to. Nobody was around and doing that when we were here earlier, but you absolutely could just walk back there. Now the crime scene tape is back up. Investigators are back up, and people are surrounding this as we have been live now at this scene for about 2.5 hours. People know that this is happening. Investigators are on the scene. So to answer your question, well, it may be thinning out a little bit as to where it was at the peak, but this is about as many deputies, as many coroner's officers and investigators as were here when I first got here. And you can see just behind that tree there, a couple of people still coming in and out of that house, a couple of investigators still checking inside of Javea Harris's home, which I was able to take a peek into that open door and could see some toys in there, could see some furniture. Nothing looked entirely out of the ordinary from inside of the home, but you could just see when they walk in and out of the door, the open door. So this is a ever-changing scene right now. We've seen some investigators coming in and out, deputies coming in and out, but it's been staying pretty stagnant as far as people here on the scene coming in and out of the woods and coming in and out of that house.
And Ethan, you've been on the scene for a while now, and some of that evidence, it looks like, I would presume it's evidence, had been carried away. One of the larger pieces of evidence was on a blue tarp. It looked like it was clothes, maybe shoes. Can you tell us where that went, what car that was put in, and what it was, and I guess what they did with that too?
Yeah, it did. Some rags of some sort into some evidence bags. Also saw them, they had a tarp on the ground and they put some items on top of it. It looked to me to be like furniture. It looked like kind of the leg of a table or a chair is what I could see with my eyes. But of course, we're about 50 feet from that. But definitely, like we said, they're looking for evidence. In this case, is what they've told us. Sources have told us they're looking for evidence, not necessarily remains at this house right now. But it looks like they've collected a lot of evidence here. We've also seen them with the yellow evidence markers, the numbered markers that you see on crime scenes. We've seen them carrying those back there as well. Seen them in the backyard just beyond that truck that you can see that's been parked there, presumably. That's not a law enforcement truck. That's been here the whole time. So presumably, perhaps Javea's parents' truck there. Just beyond that is their backyard that they've really been looking through. And they had a sifter out. They had a shovel out. They were sifting through things, collecting evidence, putting it into bags is what I was able to see since in the 2.5 hours that I've been here, as well as some larger items that they did place on tarps, wrap up, and walk away. So have not. They've also been taking pictures of everything as well as you'd expect from a crime scene. So really just gathering evidence in all sorts of ways, big and small, sifting through things in what looks like just piles of dirt and trash. I could see a couple of crushed cans in the back as well. So just dirt and trash that they have been sifting through with almost looks like archaeological sifters, as well as gathering it all with shovels and, seen deputies and investigators with latex gloves, with the shovels, with tools, cameras and evidence markers. It really just looks like some evidence, like I said, both big and small, has been collected for the last 2.5 hours.
And we also have Sydney Hood on the scene there. She just said that she saw 3 of them go into the house at this point. So the investigation is still ongoing, but there's 2 different things unfolding at this house of Javea Harris. It's not only the investigation and the investigators being there, but it's also the community response too, right? And Ethan, if you could still hear me, yes, point the camera towards all the people who showed up and who are out here supporting Javea and the rest of her family and looking at what this investigation is and what's going on. If we could, there we go. And this is what's been incredible through this entire case is the community support and everyone showing up to find out what happened. Everyone wanted to help too, but everyone is showing up in this neighborhood. And if you guys are not from Aiken County, South Carolina, or where this has happened, this is a neighborhood that's off of a main road in Aiken County, and it's tucked away in a very quiet and secluded neighborhood back here. There's a couple of vacant homes next door. I talked to some neighbors who were very friendly with me out there, who wanted the best for Javea and were very saddened to hear the news about all of this.
At Capital Group, our active
out there, but still, look how many people are showing up to support and putting balloons and stuffed animals down at the memorial here. So really 2 different stories unfolding at the home of Javea Harris that's now become a focal point of this investigation today, as investigators with the sheriff's office and the Aiken County Coroner's office assisting them today in new information that led them back to this house. We still don't know what led them here, what information they were told, but again, this was not roped off to begin with. Once the parents were arrested, everyone really cleared out and it was free access. I mean, I know you can trespass, as we lose Ethan shot here. I know you can trespass onto property, but it was not roped off every day that I was out there.
Looks fine now.
Yeah, the shot's in and out. The service is a little spotty back there too. Ethan, we've got you here. Talk about some of the... No, you're all good. Talk about some of the people who have shown up to the memorial and what you've seen. I mean, that has grown substantially over the last few days and over really the last few hours too.
Yeah, it really has. You can see people. I'll have our cameraman show you just some of the people that have shown up here to our left. You can see a lot of people that are looking at that side of the house and giving parking. Our Sydney Hood was just leaving the scene here. She's been here for a while, as long as I've been here almost, and she said that there's hardly a place to park as you drive through this neighborhood. We haven't driven on the other side streets through around this neighborhood, but there's hardly a place to park. You can see it to the right as well, just dozens of cars lining the street as people have shown up. Some people have come to give balloons and stuffed animals and flowers. Some people have just come to see what is going on as we've been streaming this for about 2.5 hours now. We were the first on the scene to find these investigators back at Javea Harris's house and going through the house and the woods. But it has been very solemn here. People have been placing these items because, we really talked about what do you do when a horrible tragedy like this hits your community? And so many people have been responding by just showing Javea that she was loved, by bringing stuffed animals, bringing balloons, bringing flowers. People don't know what to do in these kinds of situations, and these small acts of kindness together, despite never even meeting Javea. At the vigil, Will, I know you were at on Sunday, you said that they asked who in the crowd knows Javea, and nobody raised their hand, but there were still hundreds of people there. So this is really a group of people who live in this community or live around this community. Like I said earlier, I talked to a man from Columbia and I talked to some people from Augusta. So, 30, 45 minutes on either side of Aiken here, people have driven in to pay respects, give toys, give gifts, and people are continuing to show up and do that. No matter which side of the street they're on here, it is lined with cars and people just trying to show their respects, trying to be together and see what is the latest update in this case that so many people have cared about. I actually got a video that you'll see at some point on News 12 in one of the newscasts of a family, 2 little kids, giving a really large teddy bear, like a 2-foot large teddy bear, and laying that down onto into the memorial that you can see behind me there, and then in the background you can see investigators loading evidence onto the car, and that just kind of shows the duality that is here. So many people not showing up to see these deputies working or to see what is happening in the case per se, but to show their support for this little 4-year-old girl whose remains are still being searched for, to show support for each other, because so many people in this community obviously care about this case and want to be, as I can understand, you're seeing that video now, that's what I was talking about, of those just children. It's hard for children to understand the gravity, but I've talked to so many families here who say that their kids absolutely know what's going on. I spoke with the woman who started this memorial, who laid down an elephant stuffed animal, a Minnie Mouse stuffed animal, and some fresh flowers, which you can't even see now because they were the first things here under this mailbox. She said that she was getting up to leave. She had decided that she just had to do something. We were talking about what